Welcome back to the KIX 96.5 morning show. 4 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. We love featuring indie artists on the show, and this morning we're heading to Canada to chat with award-winning singer-songwriter Chris Melanson. Chris has been singing since he was a kid when his mom would take him to karaoke contests. He's been putting out hits since 2021. He just released his latest called I Won't Be Crying Over You. We're excited to have Chris on the show. First, Chris, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot for having me. It's quite an honor.
Yeah, well, first, congrats on the new single, because you've had a rough year, buddy. How's your health going? You had a health scare like a year ago.
Yeah, no, I did. Much better. Thanks for asking. I ended up having some blood poisoning and didn't do too well at the end of it, but then it came right back. So thank God for antibiotics.
Yeah, wow. Because how long were you in the hospital?
Well, I was sick for 3 weeks, in the hospital for a week, and then I had to go to the hospital daily for 2 months, up until Christmas. Yeah, so it was rough though.
Wow. But we're on the mend. We're doing better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, back recording, back in the studio, working with Georgette Jones. We just ready to release another duet together. So thank heavens. I'm truly blessed, I can tell you.
Yeah, well, Chris just mentioned her. Georgette Jones. People are like, Georgette Jones? That's George Jones and Tammy Wynette's daughter. You've been doing duets with her. How did this happen, Chris?
Too funny. You know, Georgette had came up to Canada and did a couple shows, and I ended up touching base with her and kind of network with her husband, Jamie, which is fantastic. He's a great steel guitar player and plays the Grand Ole Opry, whatever. But so we started chatting, and we ended up, I sang a couple songs, and that went well. And so Jamie's like, "Hey, we got to hook up. Here's my contact info, and let's do some recording together." And the rest was history. We've got 3 in the book so far. And we're going to be working on a fourth one, but just ready to release another duet. So we're quite honored. Yeah, it's not everyone that can work with such country royalty as she, and especially her parents. Yeah, so
yeah, it's amazing. And are all the songs that you guys have been doing, the duets, are they remakes from her dad?
A couple of them are, and then we did, of course, Golden Ring. I mean, that's the classic.
Yeah.
And then we did, the one we're ready to release is Nothing Cold as Ashes, When the Fire's Gone. Sorry, I just got a blank there.
Oh, that's fine.
So When the Fire's Gone, actually Conway Twitty and Laura Linda did that one. So, and then her parents actually did that one as well. So we're just ready to release that one. And then we did the one by Dolly Parton and Ricky Van Shelton. But yeah, it's just, for us, it's more of just for fun, bringing back the old traditional country hits and keeping it alive. And anyway, yeah. So
yeah, because how's it work? Because there's one video where you guys are singing, but you're in 2 totally different, separate locations.
Yeah, you caught that, eh?
Yeah,
that's funny. Yeah, absolutely. So she just moved to Alabama, but when she was in Nashville, we recorded that particular song. And so she did her recording in her studio in Nashville. I did mine here in Moncton, and then we could kind of blended the 2 videos to make it one video, which worked pretty good, innovation. But yeah. So.
Oh, it's crazy that technology nowadays. Have you met Georgette? Have you guys been in the same room?
Yeah, we met when not the singing part, but when we first met when she came down here for a little mini tour. We had met back then, and that was pretty awesome. But again, haven't met during the recording aspect of it. She just does hers remotely. I do mine.
Yeah.
Comes to my producer and mixer and studio, and they just blend everything together. And you know what? Quite frankly, a lot of our country stars today, that's how they're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with duets, and so
Yeah, no one's in the same studio anymore. It's crazy. The magic that happens behind the scenes. Well, you mentioned it, Chris, this Moncton. You live in New Brunswick, Canada, which is like way east and you're on the corner of Canada. But I looked it up. It's the largest city in New Brunswick. It's one of the fastest growing places in Canada. Tell us about Moncton, or how do you pronounce it?
Monk, Monckton. So Moncton.
Moncton.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I lived in Moncton pretty well all my life, and I mean, it's the fastest growing, city, right here in New Brunswick. I'm about 2.5 hours from Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Okay.
We're called the hub city, so everything kind of comes throughout Moncton. So I'm actually called, like you call me here, I'm in Prince Edward Island, which is the PEI, which is about 2 hours from Moncton. We're here on a family vacation. And then you have all the Atlantic provinces. So we're really the hub city, where everything kind of joins together, and then you split up to where you want to go. But yeah, Moncton is booming, Moncton's growing, and it's we're kind of mixed on it because I mean it seems like all of our Greenland is turning into development, but whatever.
Yeah, why is it growing? Is there a reason?
I you know what I don't know. It's just I think it's the economics. I think it's the I have no idea.
Huh. It's the hot spot in Canada, and that's where Chris is living. Well, you're more of a traditional guy. You're more of a storyteller. What's your influences here, Chris?
Oh, man. I mean, I grew up with, George Jones, of course, Merle Haggard, Randy Travis. I grew up with all the traditional country artists. And, for me, traditional country really tells a story, something that you can relate to or feel, or, when you're listening to it, you can actually, show that empathy, what have you. I mean, today's music, don't get me wrong, it's okay, but for me personally, I just, always been geared to that traditional, pedal steel, fiddle type of recording and music. So,
yeah, you're huge on the steel guitar. I think every one of your songs features steel guitar.
Yeah, well, my producer is a steel guitar player, and he's and when I go record with him, he's like, "Oh, I got to put steel here, I got to put steel there," and I'm like, "Yeah, I love it, bring it on." And of course, we get the fiddle on there too, and yeah, I mean, it's just great. So, trying to bring it back, trying to keep it alive,
Well, exactly, trying to keep the traditional sound alive. You won big last year at the International Singer-Songwriters Awards, International Male Singer of the Year for Last to Say Goodbye. And I'm listening to the song, and I'm like, is this about his grandparents? What is this about his dog? What is this about? And then I saw it, I heard an interview with you, and you and your wife kind of wrote this song.
Yeah, so what happened is I'm outside, and we do gardens and stuff, and my wife and I have 4 little kids together, so so we're outside working, and anyway, so I'm working away, and I'm always thinking like words. When I write a song, it's the worst verse music later or melody later. So I'm working outside, and I heard the words. I was the first to say I love you, and the last to say goodbye. Immediately come in my mind, and for some reason I got excited, and immediately I thought, hey, that's going to be a good divorce song. Yeah,
yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that too. Yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So anyway, so I ran in the house and I told my wife. I said, "Hey, hon," I said, I got this idea, And anyway, so we sat down and we started writing it out, and anyway, and it came to be about, and how we wrote it out is it's about a couple that has been married. And, one passes, one's left on the earth to move on. And it talks about how that person, I was the first to say I love you and the last to say goodbye, basically burying, the loved one.
Yeah.
And so we did a little video on it and et cetera. We've gotten that all over, I mean, UK, the States, Canada. I mean, Australia is it's been blown up. And yeah, you're right. We won Gold Song of the Year in the ISSA last year. And so quite honored for that. That's, I wasn't expecting it. It blew me out of the water.
Yeah, well, it had to be extra special because you were there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I flew down for that. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was something I'll never ever forget. And of course, I'm sitting in my seat and they call my name. They're playing my song, and I'm like, oh wait a minute, that's me. So and I'm getting up, and of course I'm getting up to the podium and giving my speech, and then of course you just don't expect something like that, especially from a small guy a guy from a small town in New Brunswick. So anyway, yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was awesome. Well, ICE is coming up this weekend. Are we going? Are we staying home this year? What's the plans?
Yeah, no, I'm a judge for the next 2 years because I did win gold. So I've been judging. Like I judged the whole competition this year, and I'll do it again next year. So that's kind of the deal. It gives other artists the availability and of course the drive to achieve to get gold. So that's kind of the option. Now I could have went this year, but with everything that kind of happened with my health, and we said I'll do it remotely, and hopefully next year we'll get down there. But but I encourage anybody, if you've never gone, even if you're not an artist, just go just for the the experience. Our indie artists are just wonderful, and we thank you, Jeff, for including indie artists in your programming. I mean, that's just wonderful. So it means so much to us, because without you guys, we wouldn't be anything. I mean, So.
Yeah, no, we love supporting the indie community. You can go check out ISSAsongwriters.com and see who's up for the awards coming up this Saturday. You can go check Chris out at Chris Melanson. It's MELANSON.com. He's on Facebook. Go to Reverb Nation. His latest single, I Won't Be Crying Over You, is out now. Well, you mentioned the kids. You've got 3 girls and a boy.
Yeah.
Are you guys on an island? How's the family dynamic here with all the ladies?
Oh, I tell you, my son and I, we do a lot of things. No, I'm just joking. No, they're good kids. I mean, my oldest is just turned 13, so she's starting to go through that teenage phase, and but knock on wood, has been pretty decent so far, and but anyway, yeah. So
yeah, you're just getting into the thick of it, Chris. You just got a teenager. Right. You got two other girls coming, and then the boy to round it out. I don't know if it's going to get worse, and then he might help, or it's just all going to go, straight downhill from here.
That's right. I'm trying to record so many songs to save up so much money so we can buy a little camp, him and I.
Yeah.
Just teasing. No. We love the family to death. They're really good kids, and we're blessed. And so. But anyway.
Well, you're all along for the ride right now. You did something cool. You were writing music with Scott Haggard, Merle's kid.
Yeah, well, basically, so we had, there was a kind of a songwriters forum, and so Scott was going to be there, and it was all virtual, of course, but Scott was going to be there, and we ended up, they had reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to join this forum, kind of get to know each other, introduce each other, and there might be a possibility that Scott may be coming up to Canada and, put on some shows, and would you be interested? But anyway. So we ended up doing that, and it was fantastic. Kind of, share stories, and we're able to, put a face to a name, and so on and so forth. And Scott's on a record label in Newfoundland from a good friend of mine, and so that's kind of how that all, panned out. But he's a great guy, and I don't think he gets enough credit for his music talent. But
yeah, no, he's got some great songs, but.
He does.
Sometimes, just like Georgette, I think it's harder sometimes for the offspring to break in.
Well, because the expectation. Yeah, the expectation, I think, But Georgette's doing fantastic. She's doing a lot of shows, and, her and I know Jamie had backed away from doing a pedal steel playing to kind of support her. And they, like I said, they've been doing, if you follow Georgette, she's been all over the world, and, just amazing. And anyway, so she's fantastic, and quite like I said, I'm just honored to know her, and a lot of people ask me, how do I get to sing with her, how do I get to record with her, and I'm like, I don't know.
I got lucky. That's it.
That's it. So anyway,
right place at the right time, that's for sure.
You got it.
Well, it seems like 9 out of 10 country singers in Canada are in Ontario. How's the scene in New Brunswick?
Yeah, New Brunswick. New Brunswick is based upon New Brunswick, PEI, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland. So we are kind of called like the Maritimes, because we're all surrounded by water and what have you. It's beautiful down here. And I don't know if you've ever been, and I keep saying down. I know you guys say up, so whatever, don't mind me. But anyway, but I encourage anybody to come down. We're the friendliest people. The music here is awesome. And again, it's the variety of music. We have a lot of Acadian French music. We do have the, traditional country music. We have a lot of festivals. If you're into bluegrass, this is a place to be. Bluegrass festivals, Oh, yes, yeah. Rhonda Vincent's been down here a couple times. Anyway, so yeah, music is really big down here. And like I said, we love to have a good time. So
yeah, and do you speak French?
I do speak French. Yeah, all my family speaks French, and New Brunswick is on top of that. Is the only bilingual province in New Brunswick, so everything has to be French and English. Yeah, so a lot of our friends from Montreal or Quebec, they'll come down here, or France, they'll come down here because yeah. So.
Well, and then maybe that's why it's blowing up too, because everyone's welcome.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, no, we're like I said, we're laid back. Even people from Toronto will come down and say, you guys are so laid back. Toronto's like the hustle and bustle and the fast pace, and we're just like, sit down, have a piece of lobster, boy.
Nice. So we need to go to New Brunswick. That's for sure.
Oh, God, absolutely.
Man, go check him out. He's on Facebook, Chris Melanson Music. You can go check him out, melanson.com. And he's also on Reverb Nation. Your brand new single, I Won't Be Crying Over You. Tell us about the song, Chris.
Hey, it's just a song that came to mind. I was working with, this is a co-write with a friend of mine, Paul, and we sat down and kind of went through it, and he had the idea around the basis of the song. But basically, it's hey, you want to leave? Fine. Don't expect me to be crying over you. I'm moving on. Like it was good knowing you. But deep down inside, I think he still cares for her.
Yeah. You never get over it.
No, exactly. But we put up a front, and I can't stand you, but really deep down inside, you're like, you're crying.
Yeah.
So,
well, this just came out. When's the next one with Georgette, do you think?
It's ready to go. I probably within the next week or two. I like to do a video kind of backing on it, but no, it's recorded. It's ready to go. It's sitting at home and ready to head out. So I'll be sure you get a copy, my friend.
Yeah, for sure. Well, right on. Well, go and check him out. Big things, more things. It's always big things. It just keeps continuing for Chris. Chris, well, thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
I absolutely appreciate you and all your listeners, and thank you so much. It really means a lot.
Here he is. I Won't Be Crying Over You. It's KIX 96.5.